Hi friends. So here is a video on how to do your comparing plant and animal cell lab. It is Friday. It is 3:30 and I'm still in my classroom. So forgive, whatever nonsense happens here today. I am also using a couple different things. If you can see, I'm going to use the microscope. I'm going to use the computer. I'm going to do a couple different things. So, bear with me. This may or may not work. It might be a total disaster. I guess we'll find out. Okay. So in your lab, which I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so in your lab, the Comparing Plant Animal Cells lab, you should have already done the pre-lab questions, okay? So hopefully you've already done that. So then what you're going to do is I'm going to walk you through this, which we already will have and did do in class. But if you missed class, then you can make this lab up because you're going to have a video that shows you how to do it. So the first part of the lab is the cheek cell lab. I did the cheek cell lab as a demonstration in class. So I'm going to show you what I did, and I'm going to show you the cells on the slide and hope that we get some cells. So the first thing that I had to do was I needed a toothpick. I'm going to show you what I have here. Actually, I'm going to make myself smaller here. There we go. So under my document camera here, I've got a toothpick. I've got a slide that I need. I've got a cover slip that I need. And then I have this stuff called methylene blue stain. Okay, so I'm going to use those three items to make a wet mount of my cheek cells. Okay, so I'm going to skip the swish and spit part because I haven't eaten lunch for a while. It's probably fine. Maybe we'll find some macaroni and cheese in there, but whatever. So you take the toothpick. You're going to scrape the inside of your cheek. I'm doing it. You're not. That's probably good. 5 to 10 seconds is good. Oh, my goodness. You need a drop of the methylene blue on your slide. Just a drop. This methylene blue is like super duper concentrated, so I'm actually trying to use a little bit less because it's a little hard to see through because there's so much of it. So then you take your cheek-celled toothpick and you stir the dot. I like to try to spread it out a little bit because it kind of dilutes it a little bit. Sometimes I'll roll the toothpick off to the side too. That will help get my cells off, and I do a little stir, 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 tap, tap, tap action to try to get all that stuff off. So then I take my cover slip and plop it on there. It's stuck to my finger. There we go. Plop it on there. And then I'm going to take it over to the microscope, and hopefully we'll find some cells. So we'll put it on the microscope. It is a little too much light here. I'll make it a little darker so you can see. It's also super blurry, but we're going to find what we're looking for. Oh, look, there's water and food molecules probably floating around there. That's really cute. Oh, but look, that's some nice cells right there. So let's see if we can find a really good spot to look at our cells. And by ours, I mean mine. So there's a cell right here. That looks actually like a couple of cells, probably. So you can find a nice pile of them somewhere. There's a cell, and God knows what else. I'm a little concerned, quite frankly. What's inside my mouth? Let's see, these guys. Those are cells, too. We're looking not for these little teeny tiny dots. Those are, God knows what I had for lunch. Maybe some leftover Cheerios for breakfast. We're looking for these bigger ones. These are your cells. This is a whole pile of cells. If you think about the cells of a cheek cell kind of like a pile of laundry that's unfolded, that's kind of what you're going to see. It's just a whole pile of them kind of full. They're like all in haphazard disarray. No particular order. It's a really big air bubble. Ooh, but here's some nice cells right here. Let's stick with these guys down here. Yeah, that's a lot of junk with it too, but that's okay. So this looks like a whole nice big pile of cells. Oh, too far. Go back. Too far. The key here is that you want to center it. Then, so this is what you should see, hopefully, on your slide, is you would have seen, if you obviously were doing it with us, you would have seen some cheek cells that show up on the slide. The cheek cells are stained purple. That's what the methylene blue is. And again, they're just kind of like this haphazard sort of pile of cells all broken up together. not really in any particular order or anything like that. Okay? So that's what they look like. So, in your lab, actually, I think I'm going to open the lab on this computer. So in your lab, to start with, you have the questions to answer. It says, do the cells appear organized or disorganized? So you're going to think about that when you're looking at the picture. Are the cells in rows or columns? Or maybe neither. Are the cells fairly uniform in shape and size, or do they differ in shape and size? Are the cells in the sample contiguous, which means they're all connected to each other, or are they single cells? Now, don't be confused with a pile of cells and then actually being a contiguous connected cell. Just because they're all piled together does not necessarily mean they are actually connected. And then is the shape of the cell more like a box or a circle? Okay, so you're going to highlight which one you think. So if you think it's organized or disorganized, you can double click on those words and you come up here to your highlight color. You can highlight in any color you want. It doesn't really matter. As long as it's highlighted and I can still read it, I don't really care. Okay, so you can pick that. So then what you're going to do is you are going to open up this next thing. It says click here to get the Microscope cells bank. Make a copy of the document for yourself. I don't believe you'll be able to copy and paste the pictures without making your own copy, because this copy that you are looking at here is going to be a copy that I own. Now, when I open it, I own it, so it's going to look like I can copy and paste from it, but I cannot. So you open the document. It's called the Microscopic Cells Bank. In our lab, in a normal world, we would draw what we see in the microscope in these circles. We can't do that because it's online. So what I have created is the Microscopic Cells Bank. It's kind of like a word bank. When you have all these different words to pick from, you got to pick the right one that goes in the spot. Same thing, only this one, you're going to pick the picture that goes best with it. So once you open it up, you have to make yourself a copy. So you're going to go to File, Make a Copy, and you can call it that if you want. It's going to be your own copy, so you can take off the copy of part if you want to. And then just click OK. I'm going to click Cancel because I don't need a copy of this. But you're going to click OK. And then you should have your own copy. You can then go back to the other tab and close out the copy that's mine. My copy will say Request Editing Access up here. Your copy will say Share. Okay? So once you have your own copy, you click Share. And you're going to copy the link here. It doesn't really matter what it says here because you are the owner of it. So even if this says restricted, it doesn't matter because you're still going to be able to access it because you are the owner. So you're going to copy the link. Then you're going to go back over to your lab. We're going to need this document throughout the time we do this lab. So if you don't do it all in one sitting, you might want to do this step just to save yourself the trouble. What I had kids in class do is one of two things. Either I had them highlight the name of the lab, add a comment, and paste the link to that document into that comment. This way they could just easily find it. You don't have to dig it out from somewhere. Or, as you can see, it's actually already been done. You can highlight this and click link, and you can paste the link in there and actually hyperlink this word. And then it's there for you. Either way, the purpose is that you want it to be there for you so that you don't have to then go over your drive and dig it out. And this copy that you made, this Microscopic Cells Bank, is not going to be attached to your Google Classroom in any way because it's its own kind of freestanding thing. So I just wanted you to have a way that you could easily find it without having to dig through your whole drive. Become a bit of a disaster because of some technical issues that I've been having. But basically, the last part there, hopefully you have already made a copy of this. Ultimately, we may end up having to redo part of this, and I apologize for that. But basically, what you're going to do is you're going to copy one of these pictures and paste it into the lab under this part where you think it goes. Okay? So you're just going to click and paste like I've done. I've given a couple of examples. But you're just going to copy from your Microscopic Cells Bank and paste them into the lab document itself so that your pictures are there. Okay, and then you can go on to fill in this chart. That is the last part of the cheek cell portion of the lab.